Tonight on PBS News Weekend, how keeping an eye on your front door this gift-giving season may pay off as package thieves strike around the country. Then, while the holidays usually bring families together, we explore how they can be hard for those who are estranged from their families. And the seasonal migration of Christmas tree vendors to New York City, where they create communities of their own.
You see a lit tree that smells wonderful in your home, you feel better. I promise you.
Major funding for PBS News Weekend has been provided by...
In 1995, two friends set out to make wireless coverage accessible to all. With no long-term contracts, nationwide coverage, and 100% U.S.-based customer support. Consumer Cellular. Freedom calls.
And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. And friends of the NewsHour. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm John Yang. The risks facing U.S. forces targeting Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen came into sharp focus this morning when, according to Central Command, a U.S. Navy guided missile cruiser mistakenly shot down an American fighter jet over the Red Sea. Both pilots of the FA-18 ejected and were recovered alive. One suffered minor injuries. U.S. Central Command said warships and aircraft had earlier shot down Houthi drones and an anti-ship cruise missile. The friendly fire incident is being investigated. In Gaza, airstrikes overnight killed nearly 24 people, including 5 children. One strike hit a school that housed displaced people. The Israeli military says it targeted the area because Hamas militants were also sheltered there. The other strike hit a home in Deir al-Balah where relatives scrambled to find several children who were all sleeping in the living room. Despite the violence, Israeli authorities allowed a Catholic cardinal into Gaza today to celebrate Mass with the small Catholic community there. It came one day after Pope Francis criticized Israel's actions in Gaza. The Christmas market in Magdeburg, Germany reopened today, 2 days after a vehicle intentionally plowed into a crowd of people there. The market closed after Friday's crash, killed 5 people and injured about 200 others. Today, visitors tried to return to some semblance of normalcy amid increased security. German authorities acknowledged they got a tip in November 2023 from Saudi Arabia about the driver of the car. They say they investigated it but took no action because it was unspecific. For only the 4th time since 1900, this year Christmas and the first night of Hanukkah fall on the same day. And for many, that means a rush to get home for the holidays. A TSA spokesperson tells PBS News that on Saturday, they screened 2.7 million people at airport security checkpoints. An estimated 107 million people are expected to take to the highways to get to their holiday destinations. And if you're planning to get out of town tomorrow, AAA says the best time to travel will be before 11 a.m. Up next on PBS News Weekend, the painful toll of family estrangement, especially at this time of year, and selling Christmas trees on the sidewalks of New York.
This is PBS News Weekend from the David M. Rubenstein studio at WETA in Washington, home of the PBS NewsHour, weeknights on PBS.
With Christmas and the start of Hanukkah just days away, a lot of us are shopping online to have last-minute gifts delivered to our homes. While it can be more convenient than going to a brick-and-mortar store, it also offers an easy target for thieves. Ali Rogan reports on this growing crime and how you can protect the items on your wish list.
They're known as porch pirates or package thieves, and they're targeting neighborhoods across the country. They surveil homes, watch for delivery trucks, and then steal what gets left outside your front door. In 2023, they swiped nearly $16 billion worth of goods this way. We spoke to people who've experienced these porch pirates firsthand.
My first encounter with porch pirates was when I just moved into this neighborhood. It's an urban neighborhood, and we all have stoops, and we don't have front yards. So when delivery drivers come and just throw the packages on the stoop, it's very easy for thieves to sort of follow behind them and just pick things up as they go.
I've had 10 packages in the last year tampered with or stolen completely, including my nephew's 18th birthday present.
I get a text Friday morning from a neighbor, and he said, Holly, we found a package, just packaging on the side of the road, and it's addressed to you, but there's nothing in it. They take things that could not possibly be of use to them, and they just make life difficult for others, and I don't know how much they gain from it.
Rebecca Edwards is a reporter at SafeWise.com, a research website that focuses on home and community security. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. Stealing is not a new phenomenon, but these particular types of theft have grown in recent years in popularity. Why is that?
Yeah, we saw a huge boom in package theft around the time of all the lockdowns with the pandemic, because the main way that we could all get things was by having them delivered. And package theft is a crime of opportunity. So the more opportunity that's out there, the more chances there are that some bad actor is going to go ahead and swipe your stuff.
And they seem to be also particularly brazen. I mean, they steal things at all times of day, as we heard, and also regardless of whether or not there's a security camera outside the home, as there often is. Why do they seem so reckless?
One of the biggest reasons is that it's a low-risk crime. It's not even classified in its own category in most states. And there are only 11 states that have laws on the books that specifically address package theft. So I think that people are brazen because they have been getting away with it, and they think they're going to be able to continue getting away with it.
You mentioned states that have laws. Do these types of thefts tend to happen in certain parts of the country or in certain types of neighborhoods and communities? What's the geographical breakdown?
There's really nowhere that it's not possible that it's going to happen. However, there are certain neighborhoods and setups that are kind of custom made for package thieves. Planned neighborhoods with cul-de-sacs, places where homes are within 25 feet of the street and it's an easy grab and get away are places that are most targeted.
And what motivates them to steal things when they don't even know what's inside? There's a high likelihood that it's going to be something that's completely useless and meaningless to them.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest mysteries about this crime, because you don't know what you're getting unless you see a certain brand on the outside, or maybe, a sticker that says there's a lithium battery or something. You might be getting something good that way. But unfortunately, in the past few years, organized package theft has risen. And so we're seeing people that are working together, and they're actually using the ill-gotten gains for resale online. They're setting up stores on Temu and even Amazon reselling stuff that they've stolen.
Wow. Tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, how did that start, and how long did it take for those kinds of operations to get set up?
We really saw these starting to emerge within the past 2 years. And we've been putting out warnings and giving people guidance for how to validate if a website seems legitimate, a store on any of these, quick shopping, websites where you get really super great deals and really fast delivery. Read reviews, see if you can validate them in some way, because the less you can find about these places, the more odds you have that they're not going to be legit.
So that's consumer vigilance in terms of purchasing products that might have been stolen. What can consumers, what can homeowners or renters do to protect the packages that they're ordering?
Yeah, the best thing you can do is anything that will keep those packages from being noticed and seen by package thieves that might be going by. So the best thing is to sign for deliveries if you can. That means that it's going to go into your hands or somebody's hands. It's not just going to get dropped on your porch. Have them delivered to a different location. Use a package locker, either a hub in your town, or you can have your own private one right on your porch. And again, you would have to have the delivery people willing to do the code and drop your stuff in that package. Unfortunately, these porch pirates make us have to go out of our way to avoid them. And it just doesn't seem fair, but that seems to be the way it goes when criminals are out there doing their business.
Yeah. And then what about on the side of the companies doing these deliveries? What about Amazon, UPS, FedEx, the post office? Is there anything that they can do to help protect packages against theft?
Amazon and UPS have been the most proactive, trying to come up with ways to help protect the packages. One of the biggest things that Amazon has done is you can give them a code to your garage. You can have a delivery put right into your garage. They've done an Amazon Key in the past. They also have a program where you can have packages delivered to the trunk of your car. And UPS has also upped their vigilance with photographing where they're leaving packages, being willing to take directions from customers about better, more hidden places to drop packages, and also using GPS tracking.
Really interesting stuff. Rebecca Edwards, reporter at Safewise.com. Thank you so much for your expertise on this.
Thank you.
The picture-perfect image of holiday gatherings as happy families gathered around dinner tables isn't everyone's reality. According to a Harris poll conducted last month, about 18% of those surveyed said they had only limited or no interactions with their immediate family. When we asked viewers if they'd be willing to share their stories of family alienation, we got more than 1,600 responses. Here are some of them.
My name is Camilla Hudson. I live in Chicago, and I'm estranged from my son.
My name is Angela Reed. I am from Fall River, Massachusetts, and I am estranged from my mother.
I don't have a phone number for my son. I don't have an address for my son.
There were so many reasons for initiating the estrangement. Some of them even go back to childhood, and as a mother myself, things I would never do to my kids.
My name is Jonathan Simkoski, and I live in San Francisco. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, and I no longer speak with my parents or my brother.
My name is Frances Scott, and I live in Missoula, Montana. And I am estranged from my adult daughter as of about 8 years ago.
I'm the gay son of a Southern Baptist preacher, so the relationship was always pretty difficult. But I would say sort of their ongoing support of Donald Trump became really untenable for me. The conversation has just been about the extent to which his moral failings matter. They're giving Donald Trump a pass when I don't get one.
My name is Senta Leslie. I live in Richmond, Virginia. I'm estranged from my mother and my brother.
The first 2 or 3 years, I didn't cope very well at all.
With my mother, it just felt like I could never do anything right.
I would sometimes be in a store and I might see this lovely interaction going on with a grandchild and their grandparent, and I basically had to leave the store because it just made me so sad.
I sent a text that just said, until you can pretend like you like me, I'm not doing this anymore. And I haven't heard from her since. My son sent my therapist 3 separate emails. He outlined a lot of very specific things in these emails. And literally for over a year and a half, going on 2 years, my therapist and I literally went through his emails point by point by point.
The biggest hurdle to our relationship is her not taking accountability and recognizing the things that she may have done wrong.
I would say to her, certainly, that I am sorry for any trauma that I may have caused her. I certainly feel like my alcoholism caused some of that for her, and I am deeply sorry.
I don't miss the fighting and the same fights going on and on. So I'm sort of grateful to be liberated from that. But I regret the brokenness.
I occasionally hear people tell me, well, I would never do that. I could never dream of cutting off a family member. And for those people, I'm glad that they could never dream of it.
If it is best for her for us to not be in contact, I respect that.
A little heart achy that I don't have a mom for some of these like big events and holidays and whatnot. But it's not like I want her there. It's like I want who I wanted as a mom there.
I've made my peace with the fact that it may not ever change. But I remain hopeful that it can and it will.
There's still a taboo about breaking family ties, but a growing number of groups are raising awareness about it and helping people deal with it. Family therapist Whitney Goodman's online community, Calling Home, is one of them. She's author of Toxic Positivity, Keeping It Real in a World Obsessed with Being Happy. Whitney, just because of what we've just been through with the election, there are a lot of focuses on political divisions as being a reason for families being divided and not speaking to one another. But are there other causes, or what are some of the most common causes of this?
I've actually been surprised how little people have said that politics are the reasons that they're not speaking to their family. The most common reasons that I've been given are things like emotional abuse that's still happening in adulthood, emotional neglect in both childhood and adulthood, and also emotional immaturity on the part of the parent or the other family member.
You know, I think the common thought is, or at least the societal thought is, that this is something that needs to be fixed if a family members aren't speaking to each other. But can this also be a rational step?
Absolutely. Of course, resolving this is the ideal outcome, but that requires everyone involved to want to participate in that and to be able to participate in that. And unfortunately, we find that in a lot of families, there are not always two people who want to learn the skills to compromise and fix the problem. And that's when we're going to see estrangement happening.
What advice do you have for perhaps both sides of this, for the person who decides to walk away and the person who's left when the other one walks away? What advice do you have?
I think there's an immense amount of pain on both sides, and there's still certainly a stigma that I want people to know that this is actually far more common than you realize. And I think it's very important for both sides to take the space and time to look at what went wrong in the relationship and what can I own on my end, what can I improve, especially if someone has decided to become estranged from you. That's very important to look at your role and also just listen to the boundaries that the other person is setting and try to respect those boundaries.
But also just removing the stigma. Do people feel like this is a horrible thing that they've done or a horrible thing that's happened to them, and you want to remove that sense?
I think that any time a family relationship falls apart, it's very sad and it's not the ideal outcome. But we do also have to realize that the people in the world that are hurtful and even dangerous or abusive can also have family members. And sometimes their family members are the ones being hurt by them. And so I think when we say, you shouldn't be in abusive relationships, whether that's with a partner or a friend, we also have to extend that to family and tell people that they deserve to feel safe and respected within those relationships as well.
What advice would you have for someone who feels the need to step away or to break ties with their family?
I think that it should be taken as a very big decision. And I find that most people spend years, if not decades, making that decision. I would want them to know that they deserve to feel safe and respected and loved in their relationships, and that sometimes our families can be a source of great pain and hold us back from really being able to be the best versions of ourselves. And so if you find yourself in a position where you've tried everything to make this work and you just keep hitting a wall, it might be time to walk away.
What about the family members who are in touch with each side, trying to bridge the gap, as it were? What's advice for them?
Yeah, I work with a lot of people in that very impossible and difficult situation. I think for those people, it's kind of important to get out of the middle and to encourage those people to work on this themselves and to come back together when they're ready, because sometimes that person in the middle can actually do more harm than good by playing telephone and trying to be a mediator when they may not actually have all the information, or they're trying to play both sides and then they intensify the rift.
So they shouldn't try to play peacemaker and try to bring them together.
I have not seen that really work successfully, except in a case where they say, you know what, let's try to get the two of you into therapy together, or maybe set up a time for the two of them to speak. But when information starts passing through a third party and they're inserting their opinion, I find that it tends to just get even crazier.
We cited the results of a survey in the introduction, but from your experience, from your practice, how common is this?
I am a firm believer that this has actually been happening for a very long time. We're just hearing a lot more about it. And I don't have a good handle on what is the actual percentage here because, as you've said, we've heard a lot of different stats thrown out there. But I see estrangement following a similar pattern to divorce, where people are talking about it a lot more. They're seeing it as an option. And so it appears to be rising when I think it just might be that the discourse about it is increasing.
Family therapist Whitney Goodman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Every year, the smell of spruce around New York City announces the arrival of as many as 200,000 Christmas trees. The seasonal workers who sell trees often live on site in trailers, vans, even plywood shacks. We talked with one group of Christmas tree sellers at their sidewalk market in Brooklyn.
I want the sun for Christmas.
The sun? Out of the sky? Okay. Will you share, though? Can you share it with the rest of us?
No.
Oh, no. My name is Gregory Walsh. I'm called Big Greg. I grew up here in New York, and we sell Christmas trees. We've been doing it for about 40 years. I always think it's a lot of fun, to be honest. I'm also Santa Claus. As I was leaving last year, they were saying, he's the real one, not fake one. He's the real Santa.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's a hard business. It's a very risky business. You can get bad trees. You get bad lots. You can get bad workers. If people are going to be in the spirit to buy Christmas trees, you got to buy more trees. How much is 910 Fraser? 9-foot Fraser?
$375.
$375. 9-foot Fraser. Yeah, the big trees are really scarce right now. You have to follow world events like, how is this year going to be? Because when people feel their lives are in jeopardy or scary or things like that, they want to feel better about their home. You see a lit tree that smells wonderful in your home, you feel better. I promise you.
I sold a half balsam the other day.
Yeah, she loved it. She was about as excited as all get out. Yeah, absolutely. I'm Charles Sturgill. I'm 56 years old. I'm from North Carolina, and I grow Christmas trees for a living. If you count from seed, it takes us about 13 years to get a Christmas tree off the market. In an average year, we sell about 80 to 100,000 Christmas trees.
There's not one tree in this whole lot that I don't know the grower who grew it. I know we have trees on this lot right now that were cut 2 days ago. He brought them.
I just brought up a load of trees to a good friend of mine, Greg. It's my first time to New York, and I was just amazed when I got here. And everybody's been so friendly and nice. I really enjoyed it.
Staffing is another huge problem because how do you find quality people that only want to work 1 month, and then the rest of the year you don't have work for them? Eric's my main man walking through, never stops working, never ever stops working.
My name's Eric Kang. I'm 51 years old. I live in Quebec, Canada, and I come down once a year to sell Christmas trees with Big Greg. The rest of my time in Canada, I'm planting trees and doing watershed rehabilitation, environmental work. We're a mobile nomadic family, and
yeah, been working here with my dad for 3 years in this Christmas tree stand, which is pretty fun experience for real. This is where we eat and sleep every day and night. This is Greg's bed and this is my bed. Put all of our little stuff, you know, we got some food over here.
this will be my 11th year on this sidewalk. So I've seen little kids grow up and leave to college, and they'll come back with their parents and continue the tradition.
Oh yeah, it's snowing! It's a miracle, it's a Christmas miracle in Brooklyn. I do like it, like, since I've been working with my father, it's also like a difficult situation, you know, sometimes, but I love working with him at the same time. It's just, you can't get better than that, to be honest.
He's learning a lot in this business.
Yeah, my dad's taught me a lot of knowledge of trees and the selling business of this.
Yeah. Is this too big? How do you like it?
Ask Greg if he can cut us a deal.
Sure.
Thanks.
Big Greg has been really nice to us also, like for many years already. Just like working with him and like seeing how he does things around and all the Christmas tree stands is just amazing.
I might not even do the big one next year, Arlo. I'm thinking about saying, you know what?
You should see.
It caused so much stress this year.
Oh, I know it.
They'd be so
cold,
upset me if I don't do it, but it's like, this is my last year doing it. I know I can't keep doing it. So this is it. I have small cell carcinoma in my lungs. There's like 5 different places where it's growing. And the chemo's been working, but it can only work so long. Hey, George. My son's going to run the business. I'm sure I'll be involved, but I'm not going to be, I'm not doing the daily books at night and running around and hiring and firing. Really, it was very eye-opening to me that life is short, and my theory is it's really short for all of us. It's really not that long. So go out and enjoy it. Bye-bye.
And that is PBS News Weekend for this Sunday. I'm John Yang. For all of my colleagues, thanks for joining us. Happy holidays.
Major funding for PBS News Weekend has been provided by and with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.